Is it worth the effort to obtain non-KYC Bitcoin, in your opinion? Absolutely. I believe that every serious Bitcoiner should actually put forth great effort to get both styles or both stack or two stacks of Bitcoin, KYC and non-KYC. Now, I know what I just said is somewhat of a sacrilege to the very, very serious old school Bitcoiners who, they're still mired in this view that real Bitcoin is non-KYC Bitcoin. And I do understand where they're coming from, because it is truly the purest form of Bitcoin, Bitcoin that has no association with your identity or anyone's identity for that matter. But that's not the reality that we're living in right now. It is a reality that I believe that ultimately we go to over the long term. But right now, we have to live in today's reality. And in today's reality, there are two versions of Bitcoin. There's KYC Bitcoin, which stands for Know Your Customer. Know Your Customer, obviously, is the mandate that most financial organizations on planet Earth today have to adhere to, which is to assign your identity to every financial action that you do within that institution's, under that institution's roof. So if you're purchasing Bitcoin via a Coinbase or Kraken or what have you, or Binance, your identity is associated with the account through which you purchase Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin basically is stamped for the most part with your identity on it, and will forever be so. Aside from building up a stash of KYC Bitcoin, I think great effort should be taken by every serious Bitcoiner to also get non-KYC Bitcoin. Do favors for friends that pay you in Bitcoin. Pay off dinners that you go to. You share dinners with friends and say, listen, I'll take care of the bill. You guys give me your part later, but you give it to me in Bitcoin. Do side jobs for Bitcoin. In Bitcoin meetups, if someone needs to sell and you're familiar with the person or what have you, you don't want to get taken or anything like that, right? Use platforms such as BISC. And there are a variety of other platforms that give you the ability, the possibility of getting non-KYC Bitcoin. Now, I will say this. There is this notion that some people share that this is illegal. No, privacy is not illegal. Your desire to simply not have someone look over every single one of your financial actions is not an illegal desire. Just same way that you close your shades at night in your bedroom, you want privacy in your bedroom. Closing your shades and seeking that privacy is not illegal. It's not wrong. So wanting some measure of privacy is not illegal. All right. And so your attempt to get non-KYC Bitcoin, which is more private Bitcoin, is not an illegal act. Don't think that. But the reason I believe that both are necessary is because we live in a world where if you're a Bitcoiner and you don't have KYC Bitcoin, I think that this can be construed as being weird and not true and wrong. And that's the world we live in today. And I think we have to be honest about it. And so I think there is still a need for having KYC Bitcoin as well. There should not be a choice. There should be just a mandate to get both, to build both stacks. You need them both. Some of you in the future might want to take advantage of some of the financial services that will be built on top of, more financial services will be built on top of KYC Bitcoin than non-KYC Bitcoin. And so you can look at this as being, my stash of non-KYC Bitcoin is truly, truly, truly my generational Bitcoin. That is my forever Bitcoin. And the KYC portion of my Bitcoin will be used in other financial ways. For instance, I'll post it as collateral to get a loan against the Bitcoin. I'll buy a home posting time-locked Bitcoin. to get this, to purchase this home, or what have you. Most of those services will be made available on KYC Bitcoin in the world that we live in today. Now, I do believe that the world ultimately goes to one form of Bitcoin. The other thing I will mention about this, and I know I'm sort of beating a dead horse because I do want to cross all the I's to cross all the T's and dot all the I's with this. Understand that the real price of Bitcoin is your non-KYC Bitcoin. So Bitcoin almost has two prices. It has the spot price, which is set by the conglomerate of centralized exchanges. That is one price. The non-KYC price is almost invariably higher than the centralized exchange spot price. So you always have this dual price scenario in Bitcoin. So non-KYC Bitcoin is worth more in fiat terms. It's not worth more in Bitcoin terms. In fiat terms, it's worth more than KYC Bitcoin. And so there's a spread between non-KYC and KYC. The way you should look at this is that the non-KYC price is the real price. This is the truth in the Bitcoin market as far as the USD denominated price is concerned. In the Bitcoin world, one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. It makes absolutely no difference. In the fiat world, there is a difference, and we're still living in both, right? So the real price is the non-KYC price. The discounted price, you are given a discounted by the centralized exchanges in exchange for your information, in exchange for knowing everything about you, in exchange for knowing your name, your social security number if you're American, your passport number if you're foreign or whatever, your address, your email, your phone number, your bank. All of this information is paid for by the discount you get on the real Bitcoin price. That is how you should look at it. So I say this because I think that many people get this backwards. They say, well, man, the price is so high for non-KYC Bitcoin. No, the price is so low for your information. That's the correct way to look at it, because ultimately Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer network. That's the real market. It is person to person, and that's the real market, and that's the real price. The more controlled, centralized exchange price is a discounted price in exchange for you giving up your privacy. There is a cost that they pay for you to give up your privacy, and that is discounted Bitcoin.